Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to GameStar TV and our first playoff, Stage 1 playoff of the HEYPALL series, the Winter series. Of course, it's our second Paladin series and hopefully not the last. We are at the business end of the first 3 weeks. So if you're new to the HEYPALL series, or the Winter series, that is, it is 2 weeks of qualifiers and then a third week of playoffs. And the teams tonight are playing for the prizes in this week's stage. So it's stage 1, the playoffs. There are 3 teams tonight. We had Conspiracy as the 4th team that were meant to join. Unfortunately, they've disbanded and pulled out. So we're changing up the format a little bit to accommodate the 3 teams who have made it through. And those teams are Element 6, who are seeded first, Ninja Esports, who are seeded second, and Vxtrum Esports, who are seeded third. We're going to be playing a round robin between all 3 teams in a best-of-2 format where points difference is going to determine their rankings. So if a team wins 4-0 and another team wins 4-2, the team that won 4-0 is going to end up at the head of the leaderboard. So that's how things are going to work tonight. We're going to kick off as quickly as we can with our first match, and that's going to be Ninja Esports versus the boys and girls from Vxtrum Esports. And to take you through the match tonight are our 2 casters, LeBoy and Lionberg. Lionberg, of course, an avant-garde player. He's going to be helping us with the analysis tonight. LeBoy is your lead caster. And without any further ado, I'm going to hand over to you, LeBoy, to take us through the match.
Well, so far, bans are pretty standard. Eevee coming into the meta, and Androxus being really strong in the meta in the last few patches. Drogo's is fine here, I guess. Serpent Beach is a pretty strong Drogo's match. I would like to see the Ruckus picked up here pretty early. Ruckus is still a really strong tank and an important part of meta at the moment. But we are going to see the Kinessa and Makoa come out from Vxtrum. And Kinessa, not a bad pick for Serpent Beach. I know VP really does like to play Kinessa on this match and on this map, and we have seen him do quite well in previous matches.
Yeah, and having Eevee and Androxus bound already eliminates 2 of the flanks that can definitely counter him. So if they were to try and counter VP on the Kinessa, well, I assume VP is going to be playing her, then I'd suppose that Buck would be one of the ideal flanks, seeing as he can completely wreck a Kinessa if she isn't aware of him coming from behind. And Ruckus and Nara picked as the 2 tanks for Ninja. Picks coming out for Vxtrum are Bomb King and then the Maldamba. So I can only assume that Ceres would be the last pick for Ninja, as well as possibly a DPS. Lineberg, do you reckon the Buck is a viable option?
Buck could be a very good option here. You know, Serpent Beach is a really open map, and that's where Buck is going to excel. It is a bit of a bigger map, but it should be fine. Kinessa doesn't have too many spots where she can sit. She kind of needs to be closer to the point. I do like that they picked up the Maldamba here, taking that away from the double tank comp of Ninja here. So taking up that Ceres and Charlene, pretty standard so far.
Yeah, they might have a little bit of trouble trying to get behind that Kinessa, since the only real mobility they have is of Drogo's. And Kinessa is a really hard counter to Drogo's if he isn't too careful. So it'll be interesting to see how they deal with her. The final pick may be a tank. They don't need another healer. So the Cassie coming out gives them a little more aerial threat to take out that Drogo's, which is definitely going to be nice. And is also a bit of a flank and can also do a lot of damage on point. So overall, quite nice lineups. We'll have to see how they pan out in game. We will bring that to you guys very shortly. Don't go away. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the first match of the best of two between Vxtrum and Ninja. It's going to be based off of purely points here, so they're going to want to get those initial caps, and they want to have that momentum from the start to the finish, because losing small points here and there to defenses or to just letting them take the point, they're going to have to take these retakes. It's going to be very, very crucial to the game and to winning this series. Landberg, do you have any pre-match predictions on who could possibly take this map?
Honestly, I think it could be a bit of a close one. I say that because the drafts are quite different. We have Vxtrum, who pulling out the Kinessa, BK, and Cassie, all really strong damages. Yet Ninja Esports doesn't really have anything to deal with the Kinessa, so that's going to be able to punish them like pretty early into the match. So if I was going to predict a first point, I would say that Vxtrum probably have the advantage going into this first match point.
Yeah, I completely agree. The Kinessa being left alone is going to be something that they don't want to happen. They need to take rid of Kinessa straight away, or else she's going to sit in the back line. She's going to wreak some havoc down. And if she's unanswered, she could very easily be the reason why Ninja could potentially lose this. As we see VP actually getting that first pick straight onto Strive. So there goes Drogo's, meaning that the only DPS left is going to be Karistray on that Charlene. DLS picking up a nice kill onto King Brew as Ruckus gets hooked back in, gets taken out. Karistray does get one back onto Sagan on the Bomb King. But overall, a very nice initial push here from Vxtrum, and they are looking very comfortable on the point.
Yep, they really need to ensure that they're pushing forward here and staggering Ninja. They don't want them to have the opportunity to get back onto the point. So it's really important that they're, pushing forward onto the map. And as you see, they just take out the Charlene. So Ninja have to be very careful here. They're a man down going into this fight, but Vxtrum players are a bit low.
Here comes another one out from VP, actually. DLS got quite low there, but he's managed to stay alive. Javek might go down if he's not too careful. Got a nice little clutch heal there to keep DLS alive, as he manages to get a nice pick onto Javek. Sagan with one of his own onto Strive. And that is going to be a first and very comfortable initial point for Vxtrum. Nice to play to them, but a bit unfortunate for Ninja not being able to get the picks where they needed them. Strive so far without a single kill on the board yet. And as a damage, you really need to be outputting that DPS. And there's no one on point really for him to do a lot of DPS to. DLS on Makoa and Xylos on the Maldamba. They tend to steer pretty close off to like the sides of the payload. They tend to sit back a bit. They don't just sit on the payload because that is going to be an obvious spot for them to get taken out. They do use the mobility. They have really good game sense. And you can see as Strive is really, really struggling to do a lot of damage and to get any picks yet, as he still hasn't got one on the board. King Brew got picked really, really nicely there. Nice hook from Daddy DLS. Might go down, will go down. Finished off by Lizlac. A very nice, comfortable start to the game. 1:38 left. Lineberg, do you reckon they're going to push this straight away?
Vxtrum are looking incredibly strong here, and they're pushing the cart in for what can be a cap. Right now, they're just completely picking Ninja apart. Ninja don't have an answer to this Kinessa, and they don't have an answer to this high damage output. And it looks like right now that Ninja are just going to push the cart in.
Yeah, it's very, very dangerously close. 1:15, and they only have to push it a few meters. Chris Ray does get one back. Sagan, again, he is going ham. He's only died once. Still picking up 6 assists and 5 kills to his name. Very nice. With another one there, actually, as well. He's picked up a nice little double. DLS staying alive on point is being crucial to Vxtrum getting this push in and applying this pressure. Xylos may go down here. Very nice stun, though, as Shrive looked to get the kill a bit earlier. Does take it eventually, which means no more healing. DLS might go down if he's not too careful. Any DPS done to him will be permanent, as he won't get heals. Does go down, and this looks like a very nice clutch defense coming in here from Ninja.
Yeah, they did excellent to hold on there. Vxtrum really need to sort of get their composure back together. They need to look to push this in. They need to look at using whatever ultimates they have available, which they have all of them right now. They could use the Makoa Ancient Rage, even a Dread Serpent to help them push this in. They need to be, very proactive here, and they need to make sure they can convert this cap.
Both teams have all their ults on the board, so any ults that come out from one team, we're likely to see some counters to it. So if we do want to see ults, as we are seeing, there's the Drogo, Ceres, and I believe Makoa's and Kinessa's got popped as well, so that's 2 ults for both teams that they won't have going into the next fight. If Vxtrum cannot push this in, then it might be a bit of a detriment to them. Although they do look quite strong. Strive taking one back. They could very easily push this in if they wanted to. Maldama staying live on point. VP might get taken out here. Will get taken out eventually by Strive, who is finally starting to pick his game up a bit. Does go down eventually to a very nice hook from Daddy DLS. And some nice DPS as well there from Sagan on the Bomb King to get him down. Xylos takes out Kagacho, which means no more healing, which is going to be really bad for Ninja. Staying on the point, barely ticking in overtime. Sniffing off that point momentarily will cause them to go down. DLS might be the one to get taken out. He does. Sagan alive on point by himself. VP and Liz actually coming in clutch. Sagan stays alive, doing a lot of DPS in the back. He isn't being answered. Grumpy Bomb's coming out left, right, and center. Is going to be a constant threat to them getting stunned on the point. They're going to need to pick up resilience, actually, if they're going to want to counter the Bomb King Grumpies, and as well as the Makoa hooks, actually, as well as Xylos. He can do some nice stuns there on the Maldamba. They really need to look at some resilience right now. If they don't, then they're going to just keep staggering in like this. They do get the flexible defense, though. Unfortunate for Vxtrum, but a nice clutch defense there from Ninja.
Yep, Ninja's tankiness just allowed them to keep pushing onto that cart. It's so close to their spawn. They are just able to out-tank the enemy team. Vxtrum used all of their ults in that process, and unfortunately, they didn't really use them well together. We've seen a BK ult coming out, not really comboed with anything else like the Meldamba ult or anything. They really need to combo these ults. They need to be able to make sure that when they commit to an ult, they're able to commit to the picks. And unfortunately, it just wasn't shown in that last push.
5.
Yeah, they don't have any going to this next fight, so they are going to be struggling to get these picks. If they get 1 pick or maybe 2 picks, then they could go in their favor, but they have to be really, really careful, seeing as 4 members of Ninja have their ults up. Strive and Drogo managed to get his back, actually, which is opposed to Seraph didn't manage to do so. This first pick will be very crucial. Strive and Lizak actually get the first 2 picks. Strive took out VP, and there's Lizak answered right back, which means that there won't be a whole lot of range. Nessa is being down, so Kathy is really the only range to answer this Charlene. If he does choose to sit back, an early point cap here from Ninja, 45% already. Chris Ray getting 2 actually, so getting straight up in their grill. There goes all the DPS. VP actually alive, comes back to take out Drive. The tank healers haven't gone down yet. There he goes eventually. Daddy11 taken out there by Chris Ray and answered back by VP, taking him out. They're going to have to be very, very passive to start that stagger. So a nice cap for Ninja, definitely one that I didn't predict actually, as they didn't use the Drogo ult. I think the Ruckus ult, they might not have had. He's on 97%. I thought he had it going into the fight. Evidently not. He might have actually, but then Inara also wasn't one to use her ult. So nicely played from Ninja there to conserve those 2 ults and to get a nice first point.
Just being able to capture that point without committing too hard to their ultimates is really good. Because it now means they have 4 ults being able to utilize while they're pushing the cart, and this is awesome for them. Javek did a really good job at the start. He pushed straight through and went straight for the Canasta on Ruckus, which is awesome. They managed to pick off the Canasta right at the start, and as you've seen from there, the rest of Vxtrum just crumbled. There wasn't that high DPS threat, sort of forcing Ninja to play in covers and play scared on the point. So, impressed that Ninja did exactly what they needed to, which was just focus that Canasta straight at the start.
Yeah, it is a big threat for them, because Canasta has so much range without a real direct flank answer. Having to just gang push her like they did then is one of the only ways they're going to be able to take her out. So obviously, I saw, I think, at least 3 people completely dive on her to try and get rid of her straight away. And they did so, and it paid off since they won that first fight. And they looked very strong since that first hit came out for them. So they can actually quite low to get out of there on the DPS champ. Bomb King has been doing quite well so far. 15 assists to his name along with the 6 kills. 5 deaths, a bit unfortunate for him, yet still having a very nice game. This is a close point actually, definitely going to be a lot closer than the last one. Strive takes 1 out, being VP, Daddy11 and Xylos answer back though. Looking quite strong on this defense here. Strive having to back out, might go down, does get hooked in and gets answered straight away. Very, very nice from them. And Ninja are going to have to retreat to try and build up for this 5-man push instead of staggering in, which was the mistake that Ninja made last time out when they couldn't get that defense straight away. They had to stagger it for quite a while. Whereas hopefully that this time round they can get their heads in the game. They can get those 5 people alive and they can all push in together.
Yeah, that's right. Ninja needed to be a bit more proactive with their ultimates there. They sort of sat on them for a lot of the round and held them, and now they're in a predicament where do we use our ultimates to push out, to try and push and get the cap, but if we don't cap, then we have no ultimates going into the next team fight, into the next point fight, sorry, and Vxtrum has a huge advantage. But it looks like they have done well here to pretty much wipe Vxtrum.
Yeah, they only popped the 2 ults, that being the Ceres and the Ruckus, which are 2 very good ones you can combo together. Obviously, Ceres pulls them all in and immobilizes them, whereas Ruckus has that insane DPS, so he could just completely melt them while they cannot answer. Although, Chris Ray getting 2 picks of his own, but 2 back in the favor of Vxtrum. That's 3 actually, but they do get the push in, which very, very unfortunate for the side of Vxtrum, but Ninja doing quite nice to actually get that in, and they have conserved 3 of their ultimates, that being Drogo, Charlene, and Inara. So although they looked a bit shaky in that very, very first point where they just got the defense in, they look a lot stronger now, and Vxtrum are going to have to keep VP alive, which is one of the reasons why they haven't been so successful. When he is alive, there is so much threat to look out for, whereas once he is taken down and once he starts staggering, then that's when Ninja can capitalize and they can start getting these pushes in. So if Ninja can use their ults wisely again and go for that canasta straight away, then they could very easily take map 1.
Yep, that's definitely right. Something we could even see here is a Charlene flank using his ult. He can pop his ult, run pretty much through mid, and look to get onto that Canessa. We have the Drogos and an Ara ult, which are two very game-changing ults here, which is great. This Mako is going to try and build his ult up as fast as possible, but Drogos has an answer. He has his ult ready and available. Actually, we just see him just use it now. And he takes out Bomb King, which interesting choice. Personally, I would have waited until maybe the Makoa built up his ult and used to shut that down.
Yeah, or even trying to aim for a healer would have been a little more useful, I'd say. Heading for a DPS mightn't be the best idea, although Bomb King can be quite threatening. So I suppose it was a decent choice. He's been popping off really well. Sagan popping off is a little bit of a pun there, but he's been doing quite nicely. There's another kill actually. He gets onto Javek. Been doing quite nice all game through as DLS also takes one, which means no more tanks as Ruckus and Anara both got taken down. There's another one actually. Carisray getting wiped off the board. DLS does pop the ultimate there, which didn't have an answer, and they actually take the point back. So 3-2 in the favor of Ninja. Although Vxtrum, they're looking a little inconsistent so far. They've had their moments where they've looked like a really strong team, but at other times just not looked the best. Hopefully they can turn things around here and bring it back to 3-3.
A close game. This is what I love. You know, Vxtrum, they've had their off moments. They had trouble sort of syncing their ults together and playing as a team, but that team fight, they were able to push Ninja back and keep them off the point, which allowed, you know, their healer to just sit on point, cap it, and they managed to cap it. They're already halfway pushed the cart with 1:50 left, so this could be a convergence here for Vxtrum.
Very easily could if they continue to get this steamroll going. Carisray does take one back, which is going to slow down their momentum. Another one coming out for King Boo there against Xylos, meaning no more heals. So they're going to have to retreat as they are doing so. Daddy DLS, very, very low, tries to get back, uses the shield. And very nice, actually, defense there from Sagan to protect DLS, to let him sit back. Throwing those bombs allowed them to just get himself a little bit extra time, and he put on a bit of pressure, whereas if he wasn't throwing those bombs and DLS was just kind of left out in the open, then they could have very easily pushed him and turned that into a hard stagger. DP actually took out Carisray, I believe, so very, very nice for him. This is going to maybe start that snowball going, rolling down the hill, building up that momentum. Xylos might go down, as will VP, looking very, very low. Strive looking to get these final kills. VP quite low, manages to back down though. Strive also quite low. Carisray takes VP out eventually. Carisray is in the back lines and does go down to Xylos. Looks like takes out King Boo, as King Boo also took down Sagan before he died. Strive staying alive, using this high ground really, really nicely actually, since the only people that can get to that high ground are VP if he teleports, and Sagan if he chooses to pop himself up there. So he actually gets taken down. Very, very solid hook from DLS. Completely ripped him off that high ground, which is going to give them quite the advantage. Sagan pushing through. Tucker has to sit back. King Boo might go down. He can use his wall in this area, which is very effective, seeing as it is a very close corridor. It does go down to VP though. This might be a close fight. They have 16 seconds on the clock to try and get this in. Looking very, very close, seeing as every person on the board has an ult. If they do get popped now, this could make or break the rest of the match. Pakacho does take out VP, but Sagan gets one of his own. He gets two, but he is one of the only two left alive. Him and King Boo. That's another one for Sagan, actually. Took down three. He's trying to stay alive. King Boo might go down here. He won't just yet. Does get the kill back onto Sagan, which is going to be a successful defense for Ninja, which doesn't give them the win. They need to get a cap to get that 4th point, which they could very well do so in this next fight. Although they are down the Drogo's ult, so it is a 4-5 ult advantage in the favor of Vxtrum. Weinberg, can they take this, or will Ninja come back from the 4-5 deficit?
Interesting. Again, on that push, Vxtrum had a lot of ults available, and they didn't really commit to them as much as they should. Around that sort of minute and a half mark of the push, if you're sort of winning a fight or you're in a fight and you have ults available, you should use them, right? If you don't win the push, you've still got time to charge these ults up. Saying that, Ninja did a great job at holding Vxtrum at the choke, which is just under that bridge. This team fight's going, point fight's going to be pretty interesting here. I'm hoping VP can do some damage with his Canestro and try and pick out the Drogos early.
These combos are going to have to be so crucial. There are a lot that can be popped. We can see the Ceros Ruckus come out again. There's a Ceros coming out. Ruckus popped his a little bit late. He's going to try to do as much as he can. Javek takes out Xylos using the ultimate. Kakacho does finish off DLS, before he could do much with the ultimate. I'm not even sure if it counted. It very well might have. If it doesn't, that's going to be a huge detriment. It actually did count. So that is going to be one less ult they can use. And Ninja looking very, very strong. VP does get one back, and that could be the start of this staggering push that they can try and build. If they get another pick, it's going to be crucial. The Maldamba ult did get popped. Javek gets taken out from it, so that was a very worthwhile trade, using an ult and getting a kill out of it, especially someone as threatening as a Ruckus, who has so much damage on point and off point, has a lot of DPS. These picks are going to have to be very, very crucial. Vxtrum back on the point, though, getting as much time as they can. Lizlat takes out Kakacho, meaning no more heal to the side of Ninja. That is going to be crucial. 82% at the moment. It is looking to be a Vxtrum capture if Ninja aren't too careful. The picks are coming out from both sides. Chris Ray and Shrive now taking a pick each. Daddy Dallas answers back against Javek, and Shrive answers back against the VP. Looking to cap this, though, not quite there for Vxtrum as Ninja answer back. They really want to get this first map to their favor. 3-4. If they take this, it will be the winner. Lizlak trying to do what he can. Does die as Shrive takes a very, very nice triple kill. Coming in clutch to try and save him. There we go with King Brew taking out Xylos, and that could be map 1 for Ninja. Shrive with one final ult skill onto VP, and that is map 1 on Serpent Beach to Ninja Esports. Very, very nice. Lineberg, any post-match thoughts?
I really thought Vxtrum had a solid shot at that last point. We saw the BK ult coming out, I think, a bit too late. He waited to use it until his front line was too low to really engage into the fight with him, and when he was already missing a couple members. It's really important that you use that fight to sort of engage with your team onto the point fight. You want to use it so that your team is able to follow up and get those kills. The damage enough and the stun isn't enough for BK to turn around and kill 3 people unless they're all flanked standing on top of each other. So potentially, if we've seen better ult use coming out from Vxtrum that last point fight, it could have definitely been theirs. But overall, a pretty solid game. A 21-minute game is a pretty solid game.
Very nicely played for both teams. Looking at the scoreboard, a lot of interesting things to point out. One of them being the assist count on all the members of Vxtrum is quite high. So you can definitely tell that they were playing for those picks. So if Daddy DLS did get that hook in on the Makoa, you could have 2 or 3 people shooting at that one champ at a time, which is why their assist counts are so high compared to that of Ninja Esports, which was really just, I'm going to find this person, I'm going to take him down by myself. Let's play for those kind of picks, seeing as we don't really have someone that can drag people into a fight other than the Ceres ult. So very nicely played to both teams. Lineberg, is there anybody that you would like to give that MVP shout out to, or anybody that is standing out to you?
Honestly, I was watching Sagan a lot during that game, and he was playing quite well. He was in good positions most of the time. He was throwing out a lot of bombs, doing a lot of stickies, and doing a lot of damage. On most of those point fights, he did come in clutch. However, a little bit of poor ulti management, but to me, he was a standout player on Vxtrum.
For Vxtrum, yes, definitely. Although I suppose that his counterpart for Ninja, who also did really, really nicely, was Shrive, was the least to get the assists, but he did knuckle down on a lot of kills and took away the second highest damage on his team. And in the game, actually, the only person that got higher damage than him was Chris Ray. So well played to all of them. Who shall we give the MVP of the match to? Who do you reckon?
Interesting question.
Sagan? Shrive? Anyone?
Interesting question. It was so close. You know, I feel like, yeah, Shrive could definitely take home the MVP. He was doing a lot of consistent damage, a lot of good fire spits during that match, and a lot of the time he was managing to shut down the Makoa and Maldamba combo, like sitting on top of each other, which really was exactly what he needed to do. And a lot of good ultimates as well.
I suppose that the MVP is going to get thrown onto Shrive for that match. So very well played to him and to both teams. Hopefully we can get another close match like that in the next game, which we'll bring to you guys very, very shortly. It's going to be a fun night, so don't go away, guys. We'll be right back.